Sure.
Welcome everyone. Hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving, and we're back and very full and probably feeling like we need to not eat as much. I'm sure.
Creemore was hopping.
Sorry?
Creemore was hopping. I
I
don't
was really busy on
COVID this weekend.
Oh,
Crazy.
was it? I wasn't around, and I kind of wondered. We opened Saturday, but not the rest of the time, so I don't know. Anyway.
Even Friday at like 11 a.m. was crazy.
Thursday and Friday were crazy. And then continued Saturday, and Sunday was busy. I think I was really one of the only people open on Sunday, and then I closed Monday. So you're open on Sunday, sorry.
And Monday. Yeah,
you me in the pub.
Yeah. It's a good corner.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go into the approval of the agenda. I have a few things I'd like to add if you guys can allow me to go first. Under street decor, Nancy's obviously not able to come tonight, but I'd like to add the BIA shed or storage shed as an update to let you know what's going on there behind the Foodland shed. I don't know how we refer to it. The BIA storage shed, I guess. I'd also like to add into events Halloween, and I'd like to strike out the September sidewalk sale and Thanksgiving sidewalk sale. I think both of those things are no longer on our agenda unless anybody has something they'd like to say.
And then
sorry, those were my two items. Heather, yeah.
Should we discuss the structure of the board?
We can. Where would we put that under new business? In terms of like asking if we want to change some of the structure?
Well, we have to recognize that there are people that like Karen Gideon who doesn't come anymore and or doesn't participate. So do we send a letter or what with that?
Okay. Shall we put that into new business?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody said something, I think.
That sounds good to me.
Yep. Okay. The other thing I'm just looking through now. I don't see actually, Sarah, if the Santa Claus parade is on here. So why don't we add that as well under events?
Yeah, I see the Santa float, but not the parade.
Yeah, I just noticed that. So let's add that onto the event section.
I'm just looking at the agenda now.
Okay. Is there anything else anyone would like to add or subtract before we go ahead and approve it?
Anything about, just the OP stuff?
Yes, that was in here under business arising from the minutes, meeting to discuss township official plan recommendations. Is
okay.
That?
Yeah, I guess
we could put it somewhere else, maybe. If I guess because we'd already discussed it, it kind of goes back from the past meetings.
Yep, that's fine then.
But we certainly do need to discuss that.
Meeting to discuss. Okay, OP recommendations. Okay, good. Thank you.
Yep. Sidewalk sale, I think we can strike out unless anybody wants to discuss the sidewalk sale back from August. I don't think we really need to go over that again. So let's strike that out. I guess we didn't have a meeting in September. So that's probably why it was on there still.
I think this is the agenda, the same agenda.
Yeah. Kayla and I said, let's just push it on forward because we didn't need. Okay. All right. So that sounds like we've got, if we need to add something in, we can as we go. But let's go ahead and do the approval of the agenda. So be it resolved that the Creemore BIA Management Board hereby approves the agenda dated October 13th, 2020 as amended. Do we have somebody to make
I'll move that
motion and a seconder? Doug?
I'll second it.
Thank you. And
yep.
All in favor? Yeah, great. Okay, so that's approved. I mean, that's carried. So let's go on to the next section. Disclosure of pecuniary interest and the nature thereof. Does anyone have any pecuniary interest they'd like to declare or conflict of interest at this time? I'll take your silence as no. So we'll move forward. Approval of the minutes. So these are the minutes back from August for those of you that joined us. can I get somebody to make a motion to approve the minutes from August 11th, 2020? That was our meeting. Heather, I see your hand. And do we have someone to second? Thank you, Doug. And all in favor? Okay, great. And that's carried. So business arising from the minutes. So we get into 5.1, which is the Santa float. Now, I didn't hear from Jackie today. Kayla, did you hear anything from Jackie? Because I had her name beside this. And I had spoken to her about 2 weeks ago, asking her if she had an update. And she said she'd provide me with an update this week.
No,
So
I haven't heard anything from Jackie.
Okay. Okay, that's kind of frustrating because it just sits here for about 8 months and I don't know what to do. And it's just, now it's just, I don't know, just stuck. Well, maybe we'll have an option when we get to the Santa Claus parade discussion later on. So I'm just going to leave that unless somebody else has any updates they'd like to provide on the Santa float.
Nope.
Okay. I'm going to skip the 5.2 as we stroke that out. And 5.3 is meeting to discuss the township official plan recommendations. So if you remember, back 2 or 3 months ago, we had started some ideas, passing around some ideas with Mara at the township and Nancy and Tom Patterson about the commercial usage of the downtown Mill Street buildings. And should we make some recommendations in terms of what types of usage, or at least define the types of usage in the buildings as like for retail, cafes, restaurants, food businesses, as opposed to pure offices. And so we had discussed it at the time, and then we had some changes, and what we felt that we really needed to do was go out to the building owners and provide more information to them and see how they felt. And I think there's been a lot of changes going on in the middle that I'm not exactly 100% clear on. But from what it sounds like, Sarah was kind enough to offer a suggestion in an email. Not sure who was copied on it, but in case you weren't, Sarah, I'll let you kind of explain what you had suggested. It was a really kind offer, if you don't mind.
Well, I guess Nancy felt as a business owner, maybe it was best if she weren't to lead the charge on this. But I thought that what we should do is put together a group, a building owner, a tenant. I can't remember, I don't have that in front of me, but sort of kind of taking the groups, like a tenant, an owner occupant, and somebody who is like a retail tenant would be one, and then the other would be like a professional tenant.
Right.
And then we could put together some recommendations. We could sit down and kind of talk about it as a group, as well as reach out to the other organizations, or sorry, the other stakeholders, but like kind of putting together a plan. I don't know what the timeline is for the OP or what Mara needs. And I guess I kind of threw this out there, and there was a meeting right after that with Mara, which I don't know where any of that went. So I don't even know if we're where we sit, if we have any power at this point. Doug, where are we at timeline OP recommendations? Can you help us at all there?
No, sorry, I can't. I actually, I thought that when I read Nancy's email, I thought that the whole idea had been dropped, because so I didn't even realize that you were thinking about, doing this, getting a group together. So no, I don't know where the update on the OP stands. Mara hasn't advised council or anything, so all she says that she's doing it, and I think it must be getting close to completion, though, I would think, because she's been on it for a while. So
it's true.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I would only take this on with the direction of the BIA. Like if we feel like we really want to have a say in it, or if we just want to leave it up to Mara and her professional opinion, I would only do it with the direction of this committee.
Personally, I think.
Do you want to do it, Sarah? Like, something that you want to take on?
I think it's an important thing to discuss if people are really invested in being vocal about it. But otherwise, I think we leave it to the professionals. If we really, really feel like we want to have an active role in it, if we have the energy for that, then I would be willing to take it on. But I would really want to be supported by the board in order to do it. I want us all to feel really strongly about this.
Yeah.
I still feel really strongly about it. I maybe I'm the only one now, but and I understand because Nancy felt that she was a building owner and a business owner just like me. Oh, somebody's knocking on my door. That's why I came to the store, so nobody would bother me. Sorry. just a minute.
Sarah, while Lori's gone, it was a good article in the Echo this week. I think everything's, that was nice. The way Trina handled things.
We're just getting ourselves into pickles a lot lately.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
So
you know what? I always like what she writes in there and everything. And so anyway, she makes me sound good. So anyway, she makes me sound intelligent. So I think when I read her articles, I'm thinking, hey, am I really that smart? So
all she does is quote you. It's just facts. Nothing. We're not making anything up here.
Yeah. No, I know. Anyway, sorry, Lori.
No, sorry about that. Sorry about that. I was trying to avoid the interruptions here. Okay, so I do feel very strongly about it still. I still feel like there needs to be a discussion, even if it's a discussion between the building owners and the business owners, to better understand what is the vision that we want to create on Mill Street. And I'm quite worried that it's because the building owners I have spoken to, they have told me that it's much easier and much less risk to take on an office than it is to take on a retailer. And that's where I'm a little bit worried, because if all of the buildings start to become offices, then we lose our tourist attraction. Exactly. And so I am still very concerned about it. I'd still like to move it forward. I did send Mara an email because she asked, once Nancy canceled the meeting, she asked if this was how the whole board felt. And I said, no, the board hasn't made a decision on it. We were taking a meeting just to explore more options and to understand more about the official plan. So I had sent her an email saying, no, we're not, I don't think we've made a decision either way, and that we're still discussing it. So that's how she knows we left it. She said she's more than happy to sit on that committee and I told her about the proposal to put together a short little subcommittee that could sort of study the idea, have a discussion, and come to a resolution. And she said she'd be more than happy to sit on that committee or provide any guidance. Does that help?
I think it's unfortunate with the way that things are. I don't think we're in a position to do what I would normally do, which is call a big meeting, like, where we'd all get together, we do small working groups, we have that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So we might need somebody to help us create sort of a survey, and that, and we'd really need somebody professional like Mara to do that. So maybe, she and I, maybe, Lori, would you be willing to work? You, myself, Mara, we could work together. We could create a timeline and do some outreach and then pull something together with a statement.
Yeah, I'd be happy to help, certainly support you in any way. And also, include Mara. I think that's a really good option. So yeah,
I think we have to. I just don't think you or I have the understanding or skill set to do this in a way that would have any meaning.
I agree. And in fact, a lot of this stemmed from some meetings that Nancy and I had with Mara several months ago, where she had proposed some of these ideas to us, which is where it all started, because we were concerned that more and more buildings were going to turn away from retail. Okay, so why don't we then make an action point? I don't think we really need to make a motion, Sarah, but let's make an action point.
Okay.
Or do you think we do?
I think that we're more accountable if we set up like a little working group and put it in the minutes.
So let's make a motion that we're going to start a little subcommittee, right? Or working group, as you say, that includes you, me, and to invite Mara to participate, to study, and then other members as we see fit, to study the plan recommendations from the BIA regarding Mill Street commercial usage. Does that make sense?
So No, I think that's a good idea. And Mara is a wealth of knowledge. So yeah, I think that's a great idea. For my position though, if you wouldn't mind, like obviously I don't want to be on the committee because I don't really, to be honest with you, I don't have anything to add. I don't have a business on the main street of Creemore. I go there the odd time for a bite to eat and, you know, bit of shopping at Foodland or whatever, and that's about it. So, but if you don't mind, you know, just every so often, maybe just keep me, you know, like aware of what's going on. You know, that's all. So
Happy to. Yep, definitely.
anyway.
Definitely. Okay, so that's our motion. Sarah, can I ask you to make that motion then?
That.
And then Doug, could I ask you to second it? That we're going to form the working.
Yep.
Okay, great. And then all in favor
Yep.
from the BIA to form the working group to study the recommendations? Everyone? Yeah. Okay, great. So that's going to move forward. That's carried. Thank you. Are you okay, Kayla? I know you're off video, but I'm assuming you got it.
Yep, I'm good.
Okay. Just in case you don't get it, just let me know. Okay, so that's 5.3. 5.4, Station on the Green washrooms. I don't really have any update there. I don't know, Kayla, if you do, because you sit on the Station on the Green board.
I think they'll be discussing it October 22nd.
Okay.
But as far as I'm concerned, I
Okay,
just don't think their board has the capacity to maintain them as they should probably be maintained at this point. But that's not an official report coming from them. That's just my 2 cents.
Yeah, so no change really.
Yeah.
So if I could add a little bit there. So as you know, the province had given the township $330,000 or something for COVID related items. And so I had requested that maybe, you know, we use some of that money for the Station on the Green washrooms. And Barry Burton and Amanda Murray, they sort of got together and I guess they were trying to come up with something, but I think basically, you know, I don't think the Station on the Green were ready to do it, and the township I don't know if they were ready to do it because they have to follow the Simcoe Muskoka District Health Unit guidelines and such. So bottom line is that money's gone now. So anyway, which is unfortunate. So I don't know if there's any money at all to assist the Station on the Green. And so anyway, that's where it stands. So I didn't realize, but as Kayla said there, I guess they're going to be discussing it at their October meeting. But you know, the last email I got from Amanda, it said the Station on the Green have confirmed they will not be reopening the public washrooms at their meeting on October the 2nd. So at this time, the Township Parks and Recreation Department will not be opening public washrooms, and that was about it. So anyway, regarding that money to assist them, you know, like that COVID money, I think it's pretty much spent. So on other things, so not good news. But
No.
you know, we'll see what they say, I guess, at their next meeting. And Sarah, are you still on the board of the Station on the Green, or
I've resigned.
No. Oh, that's right, you did. Yes, exactly. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. All right, so we'll leave that be then, unless anyone has any other things they'd like to mention about the washrooms. I feel like
Yeah, I think the hard part is not only are they cleaning, but somebody that need to be cleaned, but somebody needs to take on the responsibility of it. And if there's anything that contracts through that, then nobody wants to put their name behind it. So not even the hard part of cleaning it, but who's going to take responsibility is the tricky part too.
Yeah, I think you're right, Heather. And you know, I sent the guidelines, the provincial guidelines to the committee, to Barry Burton and you know, a few of the other people on the Station on the Green committee. Also sent the Simcoe Muskoka District Health Unit guidelines, but I just didn't really get any sort of warm and fuzzy responses from them. And so it just seemed like, you know, nobody really wanted to take it on. And then, like I say, the township, you know, have spent all the money. So anyway, it was
I should
frustrating.
send pictures of the people using the parking lot across the street from the brewery.
You mean the
Really?
Creemore Kitchen parking lot?
Yeah.
Pardon?
The Creemore Kitchen parking lot?
Yeah, they just go to the back of the parking lot, face the other way and pee.
I'm not surprised.
And well, at least they go to somewhere that's vacant instead of operational. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have much to say about that. I just feel like
they're also drinking on the street too, because we don't have art place isn't open, so they just crack the beers and sit on the benches. But they want to stay in town. So like, there's that.
yeah.
So Heather, are they spending money like elsewhere in town, or like or are they just coming into town to
people? As far as I know, I think the people are staying for a long time. The problem is there's no facilities, right? And you don't have an operating patio either. So if the pub is full and people just want they want to come up for a drive, see the fall colors, etc., motorcycle, whatever, they want to have a cold beer before they turn around and go home, or they shop. So they're peeing across the street, cracking a cold one on the side of the road, and they love our benches.
Yeah.
And then they hang out and hopefully they go shopping.
I maintain that those are municipally owned facilities, and the municipality should, this is when higher levels of government and people with more resources should be taking a leadership role. I think I've said this over and over and over.
And I agree more, Sarah.
We should not be putting this on the volunteers at Station on the Green. We have staff at an arena that isn't even opening. We have at least 3 or 4 staff that have been dedicated to Creemore. Like, why are they not taking those resources and just
every other village
you visit?
They're not
in the curling club. They're not putting in rink ice at the rink. They're done with the ballparks. Like, what the hell are they doing with the staff hours? And why can't we do something as simple as open the washrooms Friday, Saturday, Sunday? I do not like.
We're not even asking for 7 days.
No, I think it's absolute insanity, and it's putting people at risk, and it's putting our businesses at risk, and it's such an easy win for the municipality.
And like every small village that I've been to, just to even drive to, there has been, I make a conscious effort to see the public facilities that are open and operational. I go up and I read the signs. I don't use them, but I read the signs just to see who's cleaning them, and that I notice that they are municipal facilities.
I've stopped at municipal facilities in the middle of nowhere. They are open. They're being cleaned. Somebody is taking care of these. This is an issue that, like, we have a public health concern, and to just say, oh, well, COVID doesn't exist, nobody has to pee anymore, they're not coming.
Well, even the village I've expressed too, like in Thornbury, they have accessible porta potties. They only have 2 with a huge hand washing station. I haven't figured out actually who cleans it. I don't know if it's the chamber or what, but it's always impeccably clean. But also the washrooms down in the trails and on the beach are all operated by the town of the Blue Mountains and cleaned by the town of Blue Mountains.
Basic sanitation, that's all we
And
want.
I went to Elora, so another small village, and they had washrooms that were public as well.
It's amazing to me because every time I talk to the township, they put it to the Station on the Green. And I agree with Sarah, volunteers can't be asked to do this. And not only
take responsibility,
but they don't have the money. They have lost all their revenue this year. They had no weddings, no church services. They've got nothing. So how could we even ask them to pay for it? You know, like if it was a chance of money, I'm sure the BIA could put some money in, but it just seems to be this idea of ownership and liability, like you said. And I agree with Sarah 100%. I don't understand why that's what governments do. Governments take ownership when small groups of volunteers can't. So I don't know. I just feel like I've been losing my mind over this for 4 months, and every time I say something, it just goes around in a giant circle. And so I'm just so frustrated at this point.
Can I get you guys, Sarah, maybe you, can you fire me off an email just expressing exactly what you said here tonight, just expressing your frustrations. And then I will not forward that email, but I'll take it up at the next council meeting, and I'll just say, look, like this is crazy. This is unconscionable. We should be, this is a sanitation issue and such. But I'd like to have your points exactly as you expressed tonight, and just in an email, just so that I can make my own little notes for my own little rant, at the council meeting, and maybe we can get them to at least pick it up and take notes.
Yeah, I'm happy to go like even stronger, and I'm almost happy. Like, I think, Lori, if we as the BIA could actually hold the council and township responsible and say that they're not living up to their duty, that we're seeing that it's a public health concern, that our businesses are struggling with this. Like, this is not a minor concern. We're all opening up our washrooms to the public because we are humans and we can't turn people away. And it's not the best solution. So, Lori.
So would you be willing then to come to the next council meeting on October the 26th and just make a deputation to that effect, and and then it has to be discussed at that, and we'll put it on the agenda for the council meeting?
Lori, would you be willing to do that as the president of the BIA? I think you'll get, I've shared my frustration with Mayor Measures. So
I've shared my frustration with people. I feel like it's not being heard. I don't know if it's a giant waste of our time.
We're talking about this mid-October, and we're asking for this.
We're talking about this since April. I know.
Yeah.
We've already passed our peak season of visitors.
Exactly. At this point, and now we're in phase 2. It's going to give them all the more reason to say, I don't know. I'd be willing to do something to help you guys, but I just also...
We just need an answer to tell us why it's not supported by the municipality. Like we could write a letter. Certainly we could, and see, and then if we could, ask for them to put it on the agenda, that's fine at the next meeting. I don't have a ton of time to do that, to sit through hours and hours of council to just say to me, oh, you got to go back to Station on the Green and ask them. It's like, no, I'm not going to Station on the Green and ask them. I don't even bother asking them because it's not fair. It's not their problem.
Here's the statement. Clearview Township is being negligent by not providing sanitary places for people to use the washrooms when they are visiting this community, period. That's my statement. If somebody will second that, and you can take that to council as far as I can see. I think it's negligent. They have the facility, they have the staff. Kayla, what have you got to say here?
Yeah, jump in here, Kayla.
I was going to say that I would suggest passing a motion here to put in a delegation to council. Then somebody can, pardon me?
What does that mean, putting in a delegation to council?
So you would basically fill out, I think there's an online form on the website, and you would just kind of fill out the information that you want to talk about. And then you have an opportunity at the public participation portion of the meeting, which always happens at 6:30. Is that right, Brad?
So, while the public participation part happens right at 5:30, right at the start of the meeting.
Okay. There's a delegation. Just let me look in the.
And can you still join on Zoom? Like I thought.
Oh yeah, yeah. So what would happen is you would put your request for a delegation in, and then it would get sent to Brenda. She would oversee what it is that you want to speak about, and then I would send you the invitation to participate.
Okay.
So the deputations and presentations.
You know what? I think this is all, Doug, I don't want to have to do this. We talk in this committee, and then we keep sending this along to, like, we've talked about it so many times. I would really request that you, as our counselor, who are you're sitting at that table, could you take something emphatic from us to them? It'll mean more coming from you than it does from us. We've been asking already for months.
Yeah. I'm just wondering, like, I don't mind, I can do that. I'm just wondering how to do it at the council meeting, because really the only time I get to speak about anything that's not actually on the agenda is during the ward reports. And it would, if I brought it up during the ward reports, I don't know that it wouldn't get addressed. I would give my little speech, my little rant, and and all that they would say is, well, thank you very much, and so it wouldn't get addressed. So I think it's got to be on the agenda as as an item, as an actual item. And I think that it's I'll tell you what, leave it with me. Let me find out tomorrow, and I'll see the best way to have it put on the agenda. I still like the idea, though, of someone from the BIA, whether it's any of you three, coming and doing a deputation and a presentation and such. And I mean, all you've got to do is come and speak. You don't have to have anything prepared, anything written. Just come and speak and just say, look, like, we need, something has to be done here. But I'm just sort of thinking that you could give that presentation, and then we could also maybe have an item on the agenda where I might have to make a motion actually to say that we have those washrooms opened up.
What we
and then vote on it. So
what we need is council to direct staff on a plan to open public washrooms. That's all we need. And if if staff can't come up with a plan using using existing resources, then that's what they need. You need to direct the staff to create the plan. It isn't insurmountable by any stretch of the imagination, I don't think.
Okay, so I'll tell you what I'll do is I will put forward a motion to that effect. It won't be until the November 9th council meeting that it would actually be heard. So the notice of motion would go on the 26th council meeting. Nothing happens there. It's just a notice of motion to let staff know and the rest of council know that at the following meeting we will be discussing it. So I'll put forward a notice of motion to that effect. And and then on the November 7th meeting, or the November 9th meeting, if you wanted to make any sort of presentation, and it can even be in writing. If you don't want to, actually come and make a presentation in person, you can just send a letter, and it'll be attached to that meeting so that everyone knows how the BIA feels. And I would suggest it be a very, very strongly written letter. But what I'm sort of thinking is that so far, what I've heard so far on this is the township is blamed Station on the Green, and Station on the Green is blamed the township.
Circle.
And I'm just, but yeah, we've gone back and forth. And I do know that if I do put a notice of motion forward, somebody from the township's going to be phoning me up and say, well, Doug, we can't do this because of whatever, and
that's what happens to us.
You actually can. The municipality owns the facility.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that's what I always tell when I sit on those boards. I remind people that the municipality owns the facility, and ultimately it has the responsibility to use the facility as it sees fit, and that's for better or for worse. And right now they're not in a very nice position, but this is when they really need to step up. Yeah.
Okay, well, let's do this. And so let me put the motion forward. It'll be dealt with on the November 9th meeting. And in the meantime, if the BIA could come up with either you can make a personal presentation, or you can just do a letter, and just in support of my motion, and we'll see how it goes. And we'll hash it out at council. So, okay.
So you can't put in this motion for the next meeting on the 26th, Doug? You can't put in the notice of motion?
Well, the notice of motion goes in on the 26th, but the actual motion itself doesn't get read or get discussed until the following meeting, which is November the 9th.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. You know what? That's a good way to do it, actually, Sarah, because that we need council, like you said, to direct staff. So by making a motion, I think that's the only way that it'll happen.
That's the only way it can happen. Staff staff needs to be directed. This is a political decision. This is not, this is something that the council has to make a decision about because
Right.
it is political.
And I know they've spent all the.
Do you have any recommendations for us as we navigate this?
Who? Me
Kayla.
or Kayla? Kayla? Yeah. What do you think, Kayla?
My recommendation is to pass a motion on behalf of the BIA board to direct Councillor McKechnie to prepare and present a notice of motion requesting council direct staff to create a strategy to open public washrooms in Creemore.
And
Gosh,
if
you are
feel-
so good.
Okay.
If we feel, I mean, we can change that motion to incorporate other public washrooms, but I don't know that there is a need for that.
That would
No, I
depend on the
don't
word.
think there is.
But I guess from the BIA perspective,
Yeah.
we only care about Creemore, so let's just leave it there.
And to be honest, we're most concerned about our business community, and that's the people that need it because we are a tourist destination, or maybe one of the only tourist destinations at the moment in Clearview Township.
Yeah, and I would definitely suggest submitting a letter
Yeah.
to council because sometimes those letters do get put on the agenda and then they have to discuss it.
When do I submit the letter?
The Friday before noon, the Friday before council meeting is the absolute latest.
So you've got until like November the 7th or 6th or something like that to do the letter. So you can either, Lori, you can either do it as a letter just from the BIA, and I think you should do one from the BIA, and then also too, if you want to have any of the stores and or the businesses submit their own letters as well. The more letters, the better,
Okay.
and then that'll get added to the agenda as well. So the more letters, the better.
Okay.
And it's just emails. I mean, and it just gets added to the agenda as under public participation. So.
Okay,
Okay.
I'll make the motion that Kayla wrote up for us. Thank you.
Okay. And I can't second, so Heather, you have to second this one. And all in favor? Do we have everyone? Yeah, I think so.
Thank you, Doug, for going to
Yeah.
bat on this one. It's been
Again.
such frustration.
I know you've already done it, Doug, so
Well,
I appreciate it.
It is frustrating, yeah. So.
Yeah.
Lori, under, can I also just mention here quickly?
Yep.
So Dan told me, I mean, you guys know about the bicycle parking was done. He just said the sidewalk replacement on Wellington Street is nearing completion and it should be done next week. And I think this was like last week that he sent me this email. So how are things going? I know I'm slightly off agenda here, but
okay.
I just thought I'd bring it up because it's the township stuff. So
Yep, that's okay. What you mean? How are things going in terms of the sidewalks or the paving?
Yeah, he said sidewalk replacement on Wellington Street. Okay, well, Wellington Street, that's a side street. Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't really
Okay.
affect the BIA.
I didn't even know about it.
And then he also says, he says paper stones have been raised at the drugstore / Caroline Street. I am waiting for the landscape company to come back and complete some of the one-off paver replacement along Mill Street. So.
Oh, okay.
Anyway,
I
so.
did not know anything about that, and nor have I seen anyone out on the street replacing sidewalk paper. So, but it's possible. Maybe they're doing it.
You're too busy.
Yeah, well, maybe they're here before I'm open.
I did see the pavers going in at the IDA. I saw that.
That's great news.
Okay.
Okay, well, that's great news to hear that's moving ahead. I'd sort of given up on that one too. Thank you. Is there anything else, Doug, that you wanted to add?
No, that's it.
Thank you.
That's
all right. If you guys don't mind if I move along, then I'm going to get into the street decor on Nancy's behalf. I'd like to make a motion. Oh, shoot. I wish she was here because we wanted to make a motion. Remember, we couldn't do it last time, Kayla, for the purchase of pumpkins for the planters. But as our meeting was canceled in September, we couldn't make the motion. So we wanted to do one tonight to be able to pay for the fall decor.
We have money?
Yeah, we do. We just needed to sort of officially put it in the Can we still do that, Kayla? Or does it have to be a certain amount?
No, you should be able to do that.
Can we say, I don't know, up to $600 or something? I don't know, Sarah, you probably already saw the payment.
I haven't seen the bill.
Either. That's the problem, Nancy has it.
So I'm afraid I can't tell you what the amount was.
Okay, why don't we just put up to $600? I feel like it's $400 or $500 and change, but I'm not quite sure the final amount of
The 600 seem like it's the max.
at the max. I think that should cover it. Nancy hasn't shown me the bill either, but she said she wanted to go ahead because we needed to move forward to get the decor done. So can we make a motion then to spend up to $600 on fall decor for the street planters, which is basically pumpkins and gourds?
Sarah, if the treasurer is going to do that, then I'll second.
Okay, and all in favor? Yeah. Okay, great. So, well, that'll carry. I just wanted to make sure that was all tidied up. And the other thing, sorry, did you have a question, Heather?
No, I just said check.
Oh, sorry. I thought you just put your hand up.
So
okay.
The pumpkins aren't in yet. The pumpkins weren't in for.
Yeah,
No,
they're
in.
They're there.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Yeah. So and also thanks to Tammy Penny, actually, who did it all the work by herself. I mean, we have to congratulate her, and I'd like to send her a letter to thank her because she volunteered to do all the work. So she literally went and picked up the pumpkins. She took all the dead sort of flowers out of each planter, and that's 35 planters, and then placed all the pumpkins in a nice little way around the ferns.
Can we do more than a thank you?
She did all the work by herself. Yeah. What would you suggest?
I mean, I always suggest beer, but
I mean, that would be lovely. I'm sure she'd appreciate something like that. Cause as far as I know, I think she did it all on her own time.
Like if there's anytime actually, if we want to thank anybody with the product that I can provide, I'm happy to do so for thank yous. I just don't know if it's suitable, but if it is, just let me know. Send me an email. I'm happy to put something together.
Okay. I think that would be really nice, actually. I'm just making a note. So we'll send a gift to Tammy.
Well, maybe like the board can sign a letter or something. I don't know.
Yeah. And I'll send a letter on behalf of all of us to say thank you so much for your volunteering to do this for us. So that's the update for the street decor. The other update I have is we're still working on lighting. This has also been on my agenda every month for the last 2 years.
Wrinkle lights.
Wrinkle lights. So here's where we're at, believe it or not. Okay, so everything's been now, we are not allowed to put anything on the poles. I think I reported that in the last meeting. The official consulting report came out and basically said no to everything we wanted. So now our new plan is lights in the trees, solar lights in the trees. So we're looking at sourcing solar lights, which won't need electricity, which won't need anyone's permission. I have the blessing of the Tree Society to do this. Had a few meetings with Liz and she's on board. And the township's on board with this. Mara is offering to pay for the lights. Okay. So now Mara is really busy.
Let's do it.
Yeah, Mara's really busy, as you can imagine. So she has delegated that job to Amanda Murray. So Amanda is now doing her best to source lights for us. And Home Hardware at one point had offered to help us out with the lights. But unfortunately, I've been testing their lights all summer and I just don't think they're solar. They have like a little solar box and some twinkly lights and they're about $20 a set. I don't think they're industrial enough for us to keep in the trees for the next 2 years. Unfortunately, it's a lovely offer from them, but I think we need something a little more industrial because I think it's something we want to leave up for about 2 years at least, until at least the trees grow a bit and we may have to, take a decision about whether we take them down or just, replace them or whatever. But at least 2 to 4 years, I'm thinking we'll leave these lights up. So Amanda, now I've had some meetings with her. She is now sourcing sort of industrial solar lights. And I know Collingwood is also looking into this. So she's reaching out to the head of the BIA in Collingwood to find out where they are on their solar lights and see if we can't piggyback on the same kind of thing. Because we need some really strong ones that can sort of withstand the climate. So that's the update on the street decor. One more thing on street decor. The BIA shed. So the storage shed, our beloved storage shed behind Freeland. Sorry?
The hated storage shed.
Hated, beloved.
What did you find in there?
Beloved
Anything
and
alive?
Yeah, there's several things alive in there. So I got a lovely phone call from Sim, who's a lovely person from Foodland, and was very kind actually, and said, you know, Lori, there's all kinds of animals living underneath the shed. And it's just not sanitary to have that shed out behind a grocery store with who knows what living underneath it. And he really felt that the time has come with their renovations and stuff that it needs to go. And he feels terrible on his part that he's asking us to do this, but I think we all agree that, like, I don't know what's in the shed anyway, and it probably needs to be torn down. So I think it's nice and very kind that they've let us leave it there for this long. So all he's asking is for us to go and look and see if there's anything we want to keep in the shed. I went over last week and had a little look around. I probably need another pair of hands because I need to move some stuff out. There's some Rubbermaid containers in there. I don't know what all this stuff is, to be honest. It's years and years.
I've only ever been there once, and you and I couldn't get in.
Now the lock has been ripped off, so there's no lock on it.
Oh, there was too much snow when we were there. We couldn't.
Oh yeah, that's right. So Sim has offered not only to throw out all the stuff on our behalf, which is huge because you can imagine we'd almost need a container to take all that.
Can I get him some beer?
Yeah, I think we will have to. And then he's also offered to take down the shed and dispose of it. And again, This is a huge expense to us if we had to do it, because we'd probably have to get a garbage container to throw out all the stuff that's in there or haul it all off to the dump in a trailer. So it's a big job. So all he's asking is look and see what you want and take what you want, and the rest he will dispose of.
It's very nice.
Sarah, do you have any idea, because you've been on past boards, what's in there that might be of use?
The last time I spent any time in there was Halloween stuff. I think there's quite a bit of Halloween stuff, but I don't know what's been put in there lately. I don't know if that's where all the skis and snowshoes and that sort of stuff is.
Yes, the skis and snowshoes are there.
Yeah, so it's mostly that decor stuff, finding a place for that. It has, it has no value except if you have to replace it, right? Like it's, so I don't know.
I think, to be honest, I think the skis have they're sort of past their prime. We've used them, I think 3 seasons. So. And we've patched them up best we can. I had a look at some of the skis. I pulled some out. They're in pretty bad shape now. I mean, they've been hit by car doors and, the tips have been broken off and all kinds of stuff. So I think disposing of the skis is the right thing to do, in my opinion. We got them donated. We never paid for them. All we paid for was the paint to paint them. So I think now we've done our best to keep them alive, but I think that's done. There are some random snowshoes in there, which might be worth keeping because we might be able to use those for decor in the future. And I think you're right. That's what must be in the Rubbermaid containers towards the back that I can't get to, is the Halloween decor. And I don't know if it's worth keeping. I don't know what's in it.
When's the last time we used Halloween decor?
I think Lori Copeland must have done it years ago when she did the Station on the Green event.
Yeah.
It's been about 5 years since we've been in the station. I don't think we've used it since then.
So I don't know. I guess we have to decide, are you guys willing to come and look at the stuff and see if there's anything you think we want? Or are you happy for...
If we haven't taken anything out of there in
someone
5
to make
years,
that decision?
It's the same rule as my closet.
There's some Creemore Christmas in the Valley big, what do you call that? Foam core signs, I guess, which predate me, I think. They're about 2 feet by 3 feet. They're big. Does anyone
recycle
those? No? Okay. All right. So what I might do is maybe I'll try and convince Nancy to come and have a look with me about any of the street decor we might be able to use, like the snowshoes. And then I'm afraid I might be tossing the rest of it.
Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. I do have a little
motion to toss it. I second.
Yeah. I'm sorry I couldn't make it last week. I do have a little bit of time this week, but
that's okay. I just didn't want to throw stuff out because some of it predates me, and I didn't feel like I should just make that decision without telling everyone and giving you a chance to come and look and see what you might want or that we might want as a board to be able to use. But I think it's all pretty old, and I think there's a good chance there's been animals in it. And
you've also reached out for response, and if you're not getting any response, then obviously it's not important to people.
Okay. All right. So that's the the shed. likely we be seeing the end of it. The nice thing is Foodland has offered that if there is a lot of stuff, they gladly help us find storage somewhere in the future. So they're being very, very kind to us, and it's certainly over and above what they need to do because they've been kind all these years.
Let me know when to sign the card and give a gift.
Yeah, okay.
That is very kind of them to deal that.
Very good.
It is. And the fact that they're willing to have all their people move all the stuff out into containers and then haul it all away and then take the whole shed down. It's actually a really big shed when you get in it.
I actually don't.
None of us could manage to take it down ourselves.
I've got a phobia of mice, and I'm sure it's scattered with them.
Yeah, there's been animals in it for sure. And
Well,
some of the stuff in there is Foodlands too, so we have to talk to them about their stuff.
While we're talking about storage, Darcy did ask me to mention that she had some items that belong to the BIA for Easter and some other things. I'm not exactly sure, and she's looking for some direction as to what she should do with them. If we want to store them, she will bring them to wherever we want it stored. Otherwise, she'll just give it away to somebody who can use it. There's just some Easter stuff that we weren't able to.
Are they in bins? Do we know how, if it's like bulk items or car signs or bins?
I have no idea what it is.
Where's the suit that you bought, Sarah? Is that
The suit I bought personally.
Oh, that's yours.
Oh, so nobody had to store it.
You bought it for yourself?
I did. I paid for it. It was just easy that way. And now I have a bunny suit. Right?
I don't know if there's anything else that, I think there's maybe the big bunny signs. Is that maybe part of it, or the big eggs?
I have no idea.
Maybe she can kind of quickly tell us. I mean, I
sent her an email asking her to detail what it was that she had, and she didn't get back to me, so I don't know.
Okay.
I do, for the record, still have stuff in our coverall. I've storing some stuff from the Creemore Nights, i.e. crokinole board.
Okay.
Also, if we never think we're going to use the crokinole boards again, we could probably sell them cheap.
We could.
They're not in any problem where I'm storing them right now. And I feel
like Creemore Nights is coming back someday, and it would be great to do it again. But
so they're there.
Is it worth storing them? I don't know.
If there is a little bit of Easter stuff in bins, I can probably put them in my event section of the coverall. But someone just got to remember that it's there.
It's there. Okay.
That's the thing.
Sarah, do you mind going back to Darcy and asking her if she is managing to put it in a bin, or if we could buy a bin, that she can put it into?
I'll just try to bring the stuff to my office, and then I'll take it from there. Then it's out of her hands, and we can deal with it.
Sure, okay. And I can help move it around in my truck too if need be. Because I don't know what it is, but it certainly is something that she's put a lot of time and effort into, so I'm sure it's worth keeping. Okay.
Sorry, we were off track here.
Oh, right. So now we're in the event. So Halloween's coming up.
Yes.
We're kind of late for Halloween this year because it's already the middle of the month. I was listening to the radio today. Sounds like public health in Toronto, or at least in Canada, is sort of saying, it's going to be up to the local municipalities about how they handle local public health units, about how Halloween is managed, whether it's forbidden or whether they're allowing kids to go trick-or-treating or things like that. So I haven't heard yet from the Simcoe Muskoka Health Unit. Do we do trick-or-treating on Mill Street? Do we do something? What are your thoughts? I honestly don't know what to do on this one.
I'm lost too.
Yeah, I think we're all lost. I mean, the nice thing about the Mill Street trick or treat is that it is really low input.
Yeah.
And really tight timeline. Like, if we wanted to make and the way we've always promoted it is just through the Echo, and then through everybody just does their own thing through social media. So if we wanted to just kind of, between now and then there's 3 Fridays for the Echo. I guess I'm kind of speaking from that perspective. So, I mean, we could hold out for another week. And then if we want to go Mill Street trick or treat, the Echo can organize to pull that together just as we have in the past. There's no cost to the BIA for that. That's something that Echo works with the individual businesses to put together.
Great.
So, you know, when the BIA is ready to make a call on that, that can be implemented very quickly and very easily.
Okay, that sounds like a really good plan, because I don't know if we have the answers yet in terms of what people are comfortable with and what we can do. And it's so confusing about whether you want, you know, little kids out there in the public. So
Yeah, we're happy to participate with however we're supposed to,
Yeah.
what guidelines are set. It's just hard to figure out what the guidelines are.
Yeah,
so
that's
if the government is forcing it into the local county, I guess, public health units to make those decisions across the country, because certain parts of the country obviously are going to be more riskier than others. So maybe what we should do is take an action to look up Simcoe Health Unit and see what
can
their
do
guidelines
that.
are. Would you mind? Yeah, and just sort of see what the guidelines are, if they've put out any sort of communication yet about Halloween.
because I mean, there are things that we can do, like encouraging people to carve a pumpkin and put it on Mill Street. Like, we don't necessarily have to touch. We don't have to, like, we can come up with some creative ideas if we want to do like a Halloween promenade down Mill Street or something like that. Like, we could figure out ways.
In a car, like drive by, like if we did pumpkins out on the street, people could drive, you know.
Yeah,
if they didn't
and walking with physical distancing and calling it a promenade so that there isn't an expectation of treats, but that people can go out and enjoy a walk around in their costumes. That might be a way to reduce contact. I think we could we could commit to a promenade now, but you know, without the expectation of people getting treats, and we could encourage businesses to really decorate.
It's Saturday too, right?
It is Saturday, and that is why it's such a drag, because we would have had like a humdinger.
Would have been a good one.
But I do think, like, I spoke to Amanda a little bit around all of this, just around Santa Claus parade, and again, she sort of said focus on self-directed, focus on physical distancing, don't have any reason to congregate or a specific location where you're recommending congregation, but a promenade, you know, infers movement, and
Our Halloweens have never been like huge like groups. They've just been sporadic.
Yeah. And we could do, I mean, there's ways to even hand out candy distanced. So, you know, people could get creative.
Like those skeleton
I
hands.
personally think that a promenade concept would work, and the sooner we can send it out to the community, the happier they'll be to know what we've decided.
And we need to get all the businesses on board with, like, if you're saying, would it be like a jack-o'-lantern promenade kind of thing, where people are encouraged to put a jack-o'-lantern in their window or in front of their store or something like that?
I think we would just encourage all the businesses to decorate for Halloween. And people are going to want to get out and walk around in their costumes, I think. I don't know what you guys think.
I have no idea.
So
I don't want to go out in a costume.
can I jump in?
Yeah, please, Doug.
Unless there's the bunny available.
Doug, go ahead.
No, I was just thinking, like, you were wondering about treats. You got to have treats. I mean, it's not Halloween without treats. And
all right, we'll take the opinion from Counselor.
Yeah. So, but, and you know, like, I don't know, maybe I'm old fashioned, but you know, I just sort of think, well, it's not Halloween without treats. And heck, if Tim Hortons can do a drive-through, surely, you know, like we can do treats. The other thing too is I was listening to the radio today, and Teresa Tam, who's she's a sort of the head health person in Canada, and she was saying about how she's still encouraging Halloween, but she's encouraging people to be innovative of how they do the treat thing. And, you know, so for instance, you know, she was suggested, she says you can put a treat on the end of a hockey stick and give it to the kid. Well, I think that might be a little bit extreme, but you know, everything I've heard so far, I don't think any governments are trying to cancel Halloween or cancel treats or anything. So
Not yet.
You know, I like your idea, but I think that you should have treats too. That's all.
Well, we can leave that up to the individual businesses to decide how they want to do it.
Yeah.
But I think if we're all on the same page, that we can encourage our business owners. In the past, we've encouraged them to be open from 5 to 7, I think. I can't remember what the times are.
I think that's what it was. 5 to 7, yeah.
but like stay open a little bit later, 5 to 7, encourage shelling out at that time. And
We could even say we're doing daytime stuff. We'd like to see costumes or whatever, and then not have to worry about staying open late because it's a Saturday.
I think people like the dark, but I think that we could encourage them to come in all day long if they want to. If you come in your costume, you like, but again, I mean, I think individual businesses are going to have to make the choices about that. But if we encourage the community to come out between 5 and 7 and everybody's got their windows done up, I think it is something.
I agree.
Get your bed sheet ready.
All right. So shall we make a motion that says we're going to have a Halloween promenade?
Yep.
Is that sort of the words we'll use, and encourage each business to do trick-or-treating as they are comfortable or something like that?
Yeah, perfect.
And encourage businesses to open 5 to 7 on Halloween night, and just try to make the street a lively Halloween experience.
Yeah. The other thing we've done is encourage the community to take the pumpkins that are in the planter. So in the advertisement,
we're gonna have the trees yet. Well, I guess that doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. The fact is that people come, they take the pumpkins, and then we don't have to deal with them.
Yeah.
We have to be really clear that they can take them only after Halloween, because I remember we did that a few years ago and everybody started taking them immediately.
We did put in a date last year. The year before we didn't put in a date.
That's
and they
what it was,
disappeared. But then last year we put in a date and everybody was super respectful of that.
Yeah, it's true.
So the date, I think, for people to remove them would be the 30th, wouldn't it? And then they take them and then they carve them themselves. Nobody wants a pumpkin after Halloween.
I'm okay with them not being in the street on the 31st.
Yeah.
Because that's no one wants them after that.
Right.
Exactly. So, I mean, I think the date in the past had only been like just a little bit past Thanksgiving, but I'll look it up. So if we're happy to use the template of what we've done in the past for like the pumpkin pickup and everything, then I can manage that from there.
I'd love to keep the pumpkins on the street until about the 30th though, because that's all the decoration we have this year. So if we can leave them a little bit later, because we won't have the Christmas trees until like the 15th of November. So it'll just so you know, least amount of time where I get complaints about the decor on the street, the better.
Okay, the 30th it is then.
Yeah, or the 29th, like, you know, if it's, what is the 30th is the Friday. Yeah, I guess so. That would work actually, because you could say pick it up Friday, carve it for Halloween on Saturday.
Or I mean, really, like anytime after the Wednesday, like it's really about the weekends, right? So
well, the echo goes out Thursday, so yeah, absolutely.
Okay, sounds good.
That would be fun.
Done. Halloween, not canceled.
Not canceled. Okay.
Not canceled in Creemore anyways.
What I'm gonna have to do is send out a newsletter, which I haven't done in a while, to all our members, including the garbage, which I'm sorry, Sarah, I just haven't got around to doing. And
my gosh,
Halloween on there.
We're all so busy. Oh my gosh.
I think we're all just so busy just trying to keep things going.
Yeah.
Just keep our businesses going. I don't think any of us have the time.
It's a new day.
It's really, really hard right now. Okay. So all of that. What else has to go in the newsletters?
Well, Kayla wants to do something. I think she's got something to say. Picture. When you see her face, she has something to say.
You know. Look at she's like an angel all in white down there.
Yeah.
I have a motion to host a Halloween promenade in conjunction with provincial and Simcoe Muskoka District Health Unit standards and guidelines.
That sounds nice. Yes.
Where do you come from? This is great.
Yeah, I feel like my head's finally coming back down to normal. So I just need a first and a seconder. Doug.
Okay, Doug. And
Doug says candy for everybody.
I'll be at work on Halloween, well, not at Halloween, but Devil's Night, expecting a boatload of candy from Doug.
Yeah.
Boatload.
Halloween without candy, says Doug McKechnie. Wait for that quote in the echo.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. Because I live in the country, I never want to be caught, because I always figure, well, somebody may show up. So I always go and I always think, well, if they show up, I want to have something nice for them. So I go and I buy big chocolate bars and things like that for them. Nobody ever shows up.
Classic.
You know, I eat them all.
We're gonna
No,
have to
so-
find Doug's house. We're gonna do Google Images. We're gonna
That's right.
find
We're
her.
gonna show up in his driveway.
I like it.
Yeah, that's it.
It's just the BIA, the Creemore BIA board, and Taylor.
So, yeah, and me. So Doug and seconded by, was that Heather?
Sure. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
And is everyone in agreement? Are we gonna carry the motion?
Girl.
I think
Yeah.
so. Yeah, I think so. So the motion's carried. I don't see anybody dissenting about Halloween. Okay, great. That's exciting. We have something really positive to look forward to there, I think. Thanks,
God.
everyone. Well, it's been a while since we've had any real event, not non-event events. Okay, so now we're at the public participation section of our.
Are we going to talk about the parade quickly?
Oh,
Santa Claus?
sorry, yeah, I made a note at the top of my agenda and then I forgot to write it in the event section. Yes, please, Sarah, go right ahead.
Okay, so Santa Claus parade. I have talked to Amanda Murray. We've put together a little plan and we had Amanda review it just to make certain that it made sense within what she understood for events and activities in Clearview Township. And she said it was pretty good. I have a Google Doc, which I'll share with everybody, but just the quick overview. We're kind of just talking Christmas in the Valley. So it would be the Friday, December 4th and Saturday, December 5th. So that's our traditional weekend with the tree lighting on the Friday and the parade on the Saturday. That's always the way it goes. So this year, how did we said event description. Creemore loves Christmas. Enjoy our village's traditional tree lighting and Santa Claus parade modified to ensure community safety. Businesses and residents are encouraged to create Christmas vignettes or displays in front of their businesses, sorry, it was very small, or home for the community to enjoy while respecting COVID restrictions. So basically what we're talking about is just these stationary parades where the floats or vignettes stay in one place and then everybody can go around and view them safely on their own. So there's no gatherings. And so what we would do is on the Friday night, we would encourage the entire village to light up their homes at a specific time, put on a crazy hat, walk around the village. And then on the Saturday, we would encourage people to animate their vignettes during a specific time. And again, the community could walk around. The one thing the BIA would take on perhaps is distance visit set up with Santa. And I've been talking to Amanda. She says if we're given permission by the Creemore Log Cabin, we might be able to set it up there. So we will speak to them. But if that location doesn't work, we can look at another location as well. So what we would do is put Santa in the sleigh and then, create some kind of festive barrier and a place for kids to drop notes or something like that. So we could do it very safely. Throughout this period, we would encourage people in the community to wear their crazy hats, and we could do like a hashtag Creemore crazy hats. And then we could maybe pick a few people just randomly and give them BIA gift certificates. So that would encourage participation in that. So we have some really good ideas. We would work with using our website, the Creemore Echo, social media, and also support from the municipality to support this. Like I said, I did review this with Amanda. She's happy to support this project as well. Natalie Graves is willing to pull this together. Again, I don't see it being very different in terms of the administration. In the past, what we've done is we've just contacted all of the participants. We've sent out with a form, so we'll have the same thing where people just sign up. One of the things that we thought we could do a little differently this year is people could purchase a sign to identify that they're going to be one of the homes or businesses. And again, we're thinking of the concept of Creemore Loves Christmas and just using our snow globe, but I'd want to run that through the marketing department. Like, Gloria, I'd love to work with you on that.
Yeah, that all sounds good to me.
Yeah. We talked about new or different artwork for this year, but you know what? That damn snow globe is really cute. And people,
Yeah.
I think it's a tradition now. Like, I almost feel like it's better to be consistent with that.
I love it.
Yeah. So, and then in terms of the budget, we had $2,000 written into our initial budget for this year. So I think that we can do this well within that. So I don't think there would need to be any revisions to our annual budget. Some of the budgeted items, like because there's no marching bands, so we'd have money for the promotion, signage for individual community members, money to pay for any gifts, certificates that we reward. You know, we can talk a little bit more about that at the committee level.
For music, can I just stop you there? Could we pipe in music, use like a system or rent a system and pipe some Christmas carols or something just on the street?
I think that's a really great idea. I think we should definitely do that. I know that we can borrow the evening hall sound system, so I will.
Friday and Saturday, that would be really nice.
Yeah, and maybe we could use. I'll talk to the gallery because their location is nice and central and it's very covered, and there's no tenants in there right now on the one side. So I think that might be a really great location to place that.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah, so I can look into doing that. And any other recommendations? It is a little different. We will, I mean, I don't know if it's a pecuniary interest if I'm not making any money, but Echo's willing to do a map inside and that sort of thing. So I think the wayfinding won't be difficult. One of the things I do think we have to kind of discuss, you know, the downtown Creemore is kind of our focus, but in the past we've always had participants from across Clearview. So I don't know if as the BIA, we want to sort of be a community leader and outreach beyond our borders and include, like, for instance, we could include a map that's just Creemore and then a list of other participants if they're outside of our BIA area. Just because I don't know that anybody else is going to take that leadership role. And I would hate to lose those relationships of all those people who've worked hard for our parade to be so wonderful for all these years.
Yeah, for sure. I agree.
Okay, so that's a bit of direction that I'd really like from you guys.
I agree.
You comfortable with that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Definitely. I mean, the folks like Midwest Metals, you know, all these people that have been so supportive all the years.
We have Steer, we have Hamilton Brothers.
Yeah,
so
we want to be inclusive for the holidays, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll throw it out then to everybody who's ever participated in our community at large. So we will be capturing all of Clearview with a focus obviously on our promotion of just within the village. And then maybe I can also reach out to the Stayner Chamber of Commerce and see if somehow we can align. Maybe they could work on doing the downtown Stayner and promoting that while we work on the Creemore. I don't know that there's that many downtown Stayner businesses that do floats. I think it's really just like the home hardware, but still, you know.
What about groups like the Scouts and the Girl Guides and all those groups? How will they be represented? Because they don't have a physical location.
So that is a big challenge. I will have to, like, my guess is that the churches have always been a big participant. So we might have some of the church groups, and maybe if we have specific requests from community groups, I can work with them and see if we can match them with the location. Yeah. We can't really have people on the main street, like they're, you know, like a
boat or a banner or something like that, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's a few locations if they have permission that they might be able to use, including the Creemore Kitchen.
Yeah.
Faucets has a little kind of alcove. Yeah. So I think if we get creative, I'm sure people will want to help accommodate local groups. But my feeling is that it's probably, a lot of those groups aren't up and running right now.
No.
And it's probably not that responsible to encourage people outside of existing like homes
operating places.
Like, I just feel like it's going to be household or business based because people are already in those bubbles. So I don't think we'll run into that too much.
That's true. I hadn't thought that they're not operating. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So
great. Sounds like a real great event.
Yeah.
Event.
Yeah, it's not an event, it's an experience. Amanda keeps saying experience. So we will continue to experience Christmas I will reach out to Kara. They traditionally have been in charge of the tree lighting, so obviously between the Tree Society and Kara, we want to encourage partnership with them and bring them in on this concept of the light tour on the Friday night. And in a way, I mean, we don't even have a Christmas tree this year because of the existing construction. So in a way, it's kind of nice that they have this other option. Anyway, so that's the plans. It's underway. I don't think it's going to be difficult or complicated to administer, and I think we'll be right on budget.
That's awesome, Sarah. Thank you so much for taking the leadership role there. That is so exciting to see you guys all working together at the Echo to help us out. So that's a big deal. So thank you. It's a lot of commitment, a lot of work, and a lot of communication.
Yeah, I think the community will get behind it. And if I know that we like this idea, then we'll start communicating immediately so that people can start making plans.
Can we, if I put together a MailChimp newsletter to our own members, could you send me some of that you were just reading? I guess it was like a little report you made to Amanda or something. Maybe I could cut and paste parts of it because it was quite nicely worded about the stationary parade.
I can share, I'll share this. Oh, you're actually shared on this document already, but I'll send it to you again.
Okay. Yeah, because that way I can cut and paste it in, because then we can let people know in advance what the plans are. Okay. Do we need a motion for that in terms of spending the money or going forward with anything? No?
The money's already in the budget.
Yeah. Okay. So that's our event for Christmas. This is exciting. 2 events on the books. This is more than we've had in like 7 months.
Look at us go.
Pretty exciting stuff. That's great.
Experiences.
I know. It almost feels like I'm going to cross out events and put experiences actually on the agenda. We're all about experiences. Okay, public participation. I'm gonna skip through because I haven't received any. The financial report, Sarah, that's you again. Do you have any updates for us?
Financially, there's very little money going out because we're doing very little. The only things we've paid for, some promotion around the sidewalk sale, and then the pumpkins and just the regular everyday garbage pickup, that sort of thing. But there has been nothing remarkable. So again, we're underspent for this year because we haven't had very many activities or events.
Okay. And the Christmas trees will come in around mid-November. So that will be another fairly large expense from the Street Decor Committee.
And again, if the Street Decor Committee needs more money, because we haven't had the events, if we want to make it a little bit more spectacular, I think that's something to consider. If people aren't going to be able to have activities and events, I think looking beautiful is a really good idea this year.
I would really hope that Amanda's able to get those twinkly lights in all the trees, because I think a really sparkly Mill Street, and hopefully Caroline, will be really beautiful, at least for Christmas.
Well, we're happy to sign up for any volunteer hours if we need to get some lights in the trees.
Do we want to put a banner across the street for the Christmas in the Valley?
Well, that's a good idea. I always forget about the banner. Heather, tell me about the banner. I've never actually dealt with the dreaded banner.
Oh, the banners.
So does the banner still exist, the Christmas in the Valley one, or does that one have to be replaced?
Not sure, because I've never dealt with that particular banner. But
I've never dealt with that banner at all.
We could ask Amanda, because they have been storing them and then putting them up as requested. And on discoverclearview.ca, there is a request form to have a banner.
They need about a month in advance notice.
Heather, can you help me with that banner thing? Because I know you've done it before.
So, yeah. So the Discover Clearview, okay, so the banner application, and I'll ask about if the banner exists.
Yeah, ask if we have a banner. I do recall us talking about a banner that we felt was embarrassing. I just don't remember if it was that one.
I don't remember. Yeah, I remember that had to be switched up, and I'm not sure that we changed it. Did we not do one last year?
I feel like we did, because I remember we were discussing saying Santa Claus Parade first Saturday of December or something, so that it would be generic.
Okay, so I'm going to discuss the banner status.
Yeah, actually, if you
And
would
then
click on the
you want me
banner,
to do the
Heather, that would be great.
application?
Yeah, and if you can set eyes on the banner to make sure that what we're putting up isn't a heinous mess, that would be awesome. If we can just get you on the banner, Heather, I would really appreciate that.
Yep.
Okay. Because if so, and if we need to invest in
Make
a
sure
banner,
it's not a heinous mess. Can you put that in a note?
that's in the minutes.
I make a motion not to put up a banner that's a heinous mess.
We can't always quote Sarah.
Because
No, we like to quote Doug too.
sooner than later, preferably, Heather, just because if it
I'm
is
going to do it after this meeting.
the question I'm saying is that we might want to invest in a new banner if it is.
Yeah, so that's why we got to find out the status. Yes.
Okay. Because I think
Heather's on the banner. Okay, it's in your capable hands, Heather. I will not think about the banner again.
awesome. Thanks. Okay.
What you think about asking me to see if I did it?
Anything else about the finances, Sarah, that you wanted to add in, or?
No, it's
We're saving money not having it.
yeah. I mean, it's
We're gonna have a blowout next year. We're gonna.
Yeah, next year. I think we'll be able to kind of blow it out, rebuilding our brand, bringing people back into the community, that sort of thing. So I don't think that having not spending now is going to be a problem later. So I think
it's a responsible thing to do. We've been very responsible with the money this year, I think. Okay, the good news, I'm going to move into marketing then, if there's nothing else to add for finance. So marketing kind of chugs along slowly, and I apologize because of me. But the good news is the website is in hand. Joey Leeser is doing the photography for the website. He's now probably sent all of you emails that he's copied me on to say he'd like to come into your business and just take a couple of photos for the website, because we're trying to show about the experiences of each business as opposed to just facade pictures or something very static. We're trying to give the personality of each business. So he just wants to take like a little corner or maybe a little display on each store. He's lovely at doing photos. He's very talented. So he's going around on the weekends and doing that when he can. And he's already done several great photos for the banner to go across the website. I was hoping to have something to show you tonight, but unfortunately, Kathy is on vacation. So I haven't been able to connect with her in the last few days to get an update just in terms of where the website is. So I apologize for that, but hopefully soon we'll have something to show everyone in terms of the new website. It'll just be a bare bones structure, but I think because we don't have events this year, but it'll be good. So hopefully we'll be able to get the Christmas. I don't know if we'll have it for the Halloween, but certainly we'll have the Christmas information on there.
Do you think they'll let us provide our own photos?
Yes, you can. Sorry, I saw the email about the brewery because you guys don't want people inside the store. That's totally.
Oh, it's just, we can get them in there, but it's a pain.
No, it's fine. Honestly,
paperwork.
No, it's fine. We don't need that. If you want to just take some really nice photos.
The outside's really pretty.
Whatever you want. We're just trying to show people a bit of sense of the town so they can kind of get excited to come if anyone looks at the website, as opposed to just sort of the static photos of the street. We wanted to give it some personality and some character. So yeah, whatever you provide to us, we'll use, don't worry. The Instagram continues to do really well. Joey is doing super well with our My Creemore hashtag, where every Sunday he posts anything that has been tagged with My Creemore all week. And he's got some really cute pictures that people are taking in and about town, and it's really starting to gain some momentum. So I think that's pretty exciting stuff. And the Instagram in total is exciting stuff because it's growing faster than it's grown in years. So I think kudos to him for doing this. Great job on Joey's part. And just so you know, I do approve every single post that goes up. So it's
really good.
Somebody else is doing it. I do look at every single post before he posts. So don't worry, someone has their eyes on it. And so that's what's going on for marketing. I'm afraid I don't have anything else. That's pretty much it, but that's actually a lot. Okay, so let's talk about new business, number 11. We talked earlier before we were getting started. There's a couple of members of our team that just are not really able to show up very much, and we always struggle with quorum, and we were wondering whether we have to look at the structure of the BIA board and whether it's time to ask some members if they're really interested in continuing with their participation. And so Kayla recommended that perhaps I send them an email or a letter that just sort of asks them if they're still keen to participate with us, or if they've sort of moved on and have decided this isn't something they'd like to be a part of, and therefore we can they can decide if they'd like to resign or release them in that sort of way, so that because we're going to struggle. If any of you guys didn't show up tonight, we wouldn't have quorum again. So I think we need to kind of look at that, because it's a bit of a concern that that there's like 3 or 4 of us that are doing kind of everything. So if that's okay with you guys, I'm going to reach out and see what the situation is and see if I can get some clarity about members and board members and see how they feel about continuing. And by the next meeting, hopefully then we can continue this discussion about how we fill those seats, or do we fill them, or how we move forward.
Sounds good. Thank you,
Does that
Lori.
sound good? Okay. That's all I'm going to say about that for now, because I don't know until I feel like I reach out to those members. Next meeting. Sorry, Doug?
No, I was just, so what happens then if they step down? So how do you open it up to new members? What's the process to open it up to new members then?
I believe
or can new members join anytime they want?
I believe, and I'll have to check the Constitution, but I believe that we can appoint members as the board. We don't have to go through an election process at this point. I believe that the board can appoint a member. So perhaps we can come with some names or something like that and decide if there's somebody who's keen to join us. We can maybe appoint a new member for the next year to go into 2021. That's going to be my recommendation, because I think we could all use a bit of help. So if you have somebody in mind that would like to do a little bit of work, it's a working board, certainly, as all of you know. And I think if COVID starts to lift next year, I think we're going to find ourselves being quite busy again with BIA work and BIA experiences. So that's, I think, where we are.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Right. So our next meeting is November the 10th, 7 p.m. Anybody else have anything else they want to say before we kind of close out, or you guys are kind of quiet? But I think we're done. I think we talked about a lot of great stuff happening. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
I know we're a very
Yeah.
lean and mean board these days, but I appreciate all of you for really pulling your weight and pulling up your
Maybe just
doing all this work.
I'm not feeling very lean after Thanksgiving.
You need me to gift you some beer.
Yeah, the beer fairy is always welcome.
Thank you, Lori. You're doing a really good job of getting through.
I apologize for the bottlenecks of me these days. I just feel like you guys, that I think we're all really worn out, and I think we're just tired, to be honest. I think business owners across the board are exhausted. It's been an exhausting summer. So doing the best we can, but hopefully these 2 new experiences will give us a bit of excitement and things to look forward to. So,
well, the last couple, just on a positive note, both the sidewalk sale and even just that little tiny thing that the artists put together really put some, I think energy on the streets and money in the pockets of businesses. So I don't think it takes a lot to get our community to come out and support us. So that's good news.
Are we thinking of doing any sort of shopping? I guess we can't really do a shopping experience this year.
I think if we did exactly what we've been doing I think if we did something like what we did with the sidewalk sale, people would come out. I don't think it has to be fancy. I don't think we have to do anything elaborate. I think people want to be given clear direction and an invitation to come into our businesses, because people do feel uncertain about how to behave right now.
Yes.
I don't think it's a decision we can make now, because we don't know what's going to happen in November. But I do think that if we wanted to do a window unveiling at a specific date, that could build, because that is COVID friendly, that could build out the shopping experience the same way that it has in the past, which is that come see our window day. Yeah, I think that's something that we should maybe try to put on the calendar. Sorry, I didn't put this in the event section, guys. I know I'm going backwards and I'm just about to close. But I feel like by November 10th, when we have our next meeting, it might be a little bit late in terms of getting the communication out and getting everybody on board in the town to sort of do something in their windows.
So if we have a date now, then at least when other businesses start to ask, because I know all of us get asked on the street, what's going on with this or that, then at least we can all be on the same page and give the same answer. So if we look at our calendars, I think it's usually a Saturday. There's the 21st, the 28th, I'm talking November.
Yep.
Either of those dates strike anybody. The 28th might be nice if that's not too late. I don't know. 21st.
The 21st, I mean, this year, the way it falls, maybe the 21st is good. In the past, it's been like the 23rd, 24th, 25th.
Yes.
So the 21st might even be okay. And then it gives us a week between that and then the
Yeah, 2
Santa
weeks.
Claus parade.
It gives us 2 weeks, right? If we do the 21st.
Yeah, and it could be like a local Christmas kickoff. And we could do something like, if, for instance, we've got a big shutdown, what we could do is help businesses promote private shopping experiences, curbside pickup, that sort of thing. And it gives us that extra week even to really push that. But I think we better be prepared to support our businesses, expressing how people can shop locally if it's not coming through the door. I think that's the focus there.
So let's put that in our calendar now for November the 21st. It's a Saturday. Heather, are you on board with the Saturday?
Sorry, the Sunday's been the traditional day. I don't think.
Oh, sorry. Did we say Sunday?
Traditionally, we've done the shopping event on the Sunday. This year, I don't know that, like with the reindeer one year. You know, so that's been traditional, but it doesn't have to continue. If we feel like doing the Saturday will bring more business, then
I think Saturday makes more sense, but
I think in the past we've always been really busy on the Saturdays, and we wanted to drum up.
That's why we did that year. We did stuff on Sundays.
But now that's all kind of changed. So I'm fine with either date. I think that was just the reasoning I think we had before.
Yeah, exactly.
Was that Sundays were quite quiet, and we wanted to sort of bring back a little bit of life on a Sunday.
So because we're not really planning on doing any activities or events, it could be the 21st and 22nd. We could call it like early Christmas shopping, local, blah, blah, blah. The marketing committee will do something genius there, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So we can do that. So that's great. So unveiling for the holidays. November 1st and 22nd.
I think we've tied in the posters and everything with the Santa Claus parade for that date, so we can talk about putting all of that together and getting that out very soon. Like, I guess this
we can add the window display thing to the poster, right? And just change the date. Yeah, that sounds great. Okay. And then we'll just be prepared, like you said, to just be flexible with whatever the situation looks like, whether it's curbside pickup or private shopping, like you say, or who knows what it's going to look like in November.
I do think we have an opportunity to do a great campaign that will help all of our business members.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll put a campaign together for marketing. Okay, perfect. Okay, 21st and possibly 22nd.
I think we should say both days.
Yeah, it's great.
Why not?
Why not at this point?
We're not doing anything.
That's right. Okay, sorry. That was just a backup because I forgot about that. So I think now we're ready to adjourn the meeting. Anything else anyone can think of? Going once.
No.
Going twice. Okay, we're adjourned. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.
Okay, thanks, Laura.
Second that adjournment.
Oh, sorry. I didn't make them. All in favor of adjourning?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a nightmare.